another exciting episode of Slapboxin Wit Your Shadow. I am your host,
the number 2 driver of the Akagi Red Suns, goddammit!
Various Wade. And yeah, it's been a long time coming, but I had an epiphany. You know what an epiphany is? Do you know how to spell epiphany? Because I barely know how to say it. But we'll get into all that. We got plenty of time. So first, shout out to a sponsor. The concoction I like to call the Rum and Go Get It. Exclusively here at Amihito. Now that the borders are opened up again, bring your ass to Nara City in Nara Prefecture in Japan. And come visit. Had this bar, we've had this bar for like a good 2 years. And it's like, yeah, people are slowly coming in. The locals are legitimate. You know, they come through with the support. But now with tourists, it's like, I got to rethink everything. Like, you know, bodies in the place. It's been so long. Anyway, you know, we got the tattoo booth here now. So there's one less foretop to sit. But it also means that there's one less block of space to occupy, but that's all good. You know, we got Joe here now, and Joe is from the Massachusetts area. He's cool people, older gentleman, but all, you know, 80s punk. So it's kind of nice to have that kind of manifestation here, if that's even the right word. Anyway, so what has been happening? Well, as you know, season 2. We can't repeat shit that we've been talking about before. And so making a second episode, I didn't want to rush it. And then I had my own personal issues to work through. And that took some time away from editing, away from shooting. And, you know, it's important to keep a 0 body count, especially in a foreign country. So that was the first tier thing I had to take care of. You know, myself, my mental health. And, you know, it sounds very trendy now, you know, just people being able to get diagnosed with mental health, especially black men in particular. And so I don't want to say, oh yeah, that's why. It's like, I've always known I've had issues. So it's not so much about, you know, being crazy. It's just a matter of, you know, the way I look at the world is very different from a lot of people. Is there something wrong with me, or am I just in the wrong circle? And that's basically what it boiled down to. You know, it's one thing to be around people who are like-minded. It's another thing to be around people who are enablers. You know what I mean? It's like you question things. They're like, don't stress yourself. Only think positive. Don't think negative. Don't bring that negativity into your life. Some of that negativity is questions you should have the answers to by now. More or less. And, you know, it's not a shaming thing. It's more of a responsibility to evolve. You know, that's what, you know, we do. We grow up physically. Technically, it's supposed to be mentally and spiritually as well, too. So, you know, just to get bigger and still have the same mindset of when you were younger, it's cute, but it's not really effective. You should have the mind of a child. Well, not in all things, bro. You know? So that's what I'm wrestling with. I'm wrestling with philosophies, teachings that I was given in my teens, and my 20s, and my 30s. And now I'm in the 40s. And if I'm lucky, I'll spend as much time in my older years as I did in my younger years. You know, black men and stress and cholesterol, hypertension, all that, police, and everything above, and all the above, you know. I'll be lucky if I hit 75, and I'm really gunning for that 80, you know what I mean? So, being able to figure all that out. What philosophies am I keeping? And what philosophies am I getting away with? Or getting away from? You know? It takes a lot to admit you're wrong, but it also takes a lot to be like, I'm never doing that shit again. It takes a lot. And I was reading up on a lot of things about how the mind works in your 40s and, beyond. The foods you should eat, the things you stay away from as far as like, the dopamine effect, the good feelings, the bad feelings, and overdosing on what makes you feel happy. The more you use it, the less effective it is, kind of like heroin, so I'm told. And so you're always chasing that feeling, and the high isn't as big as it used to be, so you have to get more or do it more often. Yeah, it's the same thing with anything that makes you feel good, especially being an expat. Yes, I am taking on that title, expat. I'm not bringing my black ass back to America to live. That's just, it's not going to happen. I will be visiting. I say this every year.
Every time. Every time.
But honestly, being honest, the reason why I haven't gone back home is because I've been dealing with some things with my family. And it's like, there's certain things you don't want to come face to face with because you know in your heart that you are not mature enough to handle it. And by mature, I mean non-violent. And by non-violent, I mean Tom and Jerry type. I'm still wrestling with that now. And so it's like, it's not a good idea to go back home. It just isn't. And yeah, I could go to different states and different cities and shit like that. But what's the point of going to a different city and not being able to go around the places you grew up and like the things you hold close to your heart, your friends, your family, the family you don't want to fuck up, the safe family. And so, I've been talking with the safe part of my family, those who are safe, and they're like, you know what, that sounds foolish what you're talking. And I was like, yeah, I know, it does sound foolish. The whole, wanting to fight somebody because you can't communicate with them on any level, without it turning into some type of debate or some type of judgment call type stuff. And I'll throw this in for free. The fact that I am a heterosexual.
You sure you're not gay?
Yep. I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not that I'm questioning it. I'm thinking about a list. This was supposed to come with a list. You list the things. But okay, seeing that I am a heterosexual black male with no felonies, no STDs, no outside children, no ex-wife, like none of the negative stereotypes that are associated with any race and age group, and the fact that I'm still having these judgmental calls about what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, what I should be, all that speaks a lot. It really does. And so it's a matter of being submissive and being like, okay, yeah, you sure you're right? And like, no, you're not right. You're fucking dead ass wrong. And the fact that the emotion is instant, physical showdown type. I'm too old for that shit. There is no going to jail for beating up a family member. It's just not. That's not how I want to spend my 70s in jail. You know what I mean? So it's like it's best to leave that shit alone. I can still come home, still go back to the brew town. It'll do me some good. I know the city's not the same. And I know all my associates, my friends, my inner circle, people I used to be very close with, but distance and time equals, oh shit. It's weird how that is. You go from sending messages every day to every other day to every weekend to twice a month to once a season, and then all of a sudden you see like something come up on your timeline. It's like, yo, when did you do this? It's like, yeah, it's tricky how algorithms work like that. Yeah. But then again, the borders are open now. People can fly. The majority of us got 3 shots, unless you're, on some other shit. But like, the people I was gonna say, the people I fuck with got all the vaccinations, but let me tell you something about Japanese people of the underground. Now, so underground people is not as underground or does not have as okay, how do I put this without sounding ignorant as hell or stereotypical? Undergrounds exist in every country, but my underground is not your underground, and vice versa. That type of. So, you know, hanging out with tattooed cats, you know, they all that's instant anti-social society, you know, especially here in Japan, you know, they still got the stigmatism. Anyone with tattoos have some type of dangerous aspect to them that you don't want to be around. And rather than question it or prepare yourself to deal with a dangerous situation, it's just better to, you know, just shy away or be afraid of the unknown. That's safe in some aspect. I don't know the details to that. It's still a learning curve here, even 7 years in. Still a learning curve. But, you know, people in the underground is like, hey, yo, did you get your COVID vaccine yet? Oh, no, I didn't. Like, well, why not? It's like, I just hadn't. It's like, it's like motherfuckers coming in here getting tattooed. You know, there's body fluid to an extent. You know what I mean? You might want to. But like the cleanliness factor, the sanitation factor, the aftercare of all the tattoos that are done here is like top notch. You know what I mean? It's like medical precision. Well, not even medical precision, because that's not exactly what it is. It's not medical. It's just standard first aid. Don't bleed all over the goddamn place. And if you're bleeding, make sure it doesn't get infected by putting, you know, the proper stuff on it. But then when it comes to their personal health, it's like, you know what? You guys have been eating McDonald's like every day this week. You want to change it up? And so next week is kontatsu, you know, which is basically like a pork cutlet deep fried. It's delicious, but it's like, dude, fried food, come on, work with me. You know, and the cigarettes, and, you know, I smoke cigars. And, you know, because I love my wife so much, it's like I don't smoke cigars every time I'm in the bar. It's twice a month at the most. And mostly because, okay, this is going to be very gross and disgustingly cute stuff. So if you want to skip forward, I completely understand. I'll kind of put a time marker here and here, or here and here. Or maybe I'll put one here. Whatever. I don't know how to do it. But yeah, so my wife loves to kiss. And it's not like sexy French tongue kissing. It's very cute. Almost, oh my goodness. It's disgustingly cute pecs. And oh my goodness. It still boggles the mind that I got married to someone so unrealistically cute, romantic, and gentle and caring. It really is. And like, not trying to jinx it, but fam, what? She kisses me, and if I kiss her just right, there's a nice little, like, you know, a sweet spot where you get the little lips and she'll just giggle like it's a freak, like it's the first time she's ever gotten a kiss, and it's so cute, and it's disgusting. Wait, why did I start talking about this? I totally forgot why I started talking about kissing. Oh yeah, the cigars. So I don't know what it is, but my wife has a ridiculous sense. Like, not, well, you know, sense in the mind, but, you know, her sense of smell and sense of taste is like ridiculous. It's really, really like strong. So like if I kiss her, just close, like little peck kiss, she's like, you were smoking. I'm like, how'd you know? Like I tried to get slick one time. I got home before she did. So I did the manual toothbrush, then I did the mechanical toothbrush with the 5 settings. It was like 3 minutes a piece. And then I did the mouthwash, spit it out floss, did the super Listerine solid gold mouthwash and left it in my mouth for 5 minutes, gargling and swishing, and then whah! Then started chewing gum. Gave her a pep. You've been smoking. How'd you know? I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for the meddling kids and da. But basically, she told me, being the medical astute person she is, that the nicotine stays in your saliva and it keeps, it spins, goes through your system and it stays in your system for a while. So she can taste it and she doesn't like it. And I can understand it. She's not a cigar smoker. She's not a drinker. So it's like all of my vices aren't her vices. So, yeah. So when it comes to just being underground, it's like there's a sort of not recklessness with taking care of your health, but it's sort of like not the biggest concern. And, I try to share that with people here. It's like, I don't know you guys enough to scold you or judge you, but I care enough about you to be like, hey, fam, let's look at the world and see how crazy it is. I'm not saying you gotta, go big pharmaceutical and start taking drugs with everything. I'm just saying pandemics usually aren't fake, and a lot of people have died, and it's not funny. And people who have had it and recovered got it a second time. It's like, how about you try not to get it at all? Well, I'm going to go out. I'm not going to wear my mask because that's an infringement on oh my goodness. Let me talk about that. Bookmark it. We'll come back to that. Too many bookmarks. Okay, so people in the underground getting the vaccine. So, yeah. Some of them are vaccinated, not all of them, whatever, do the thing. But I'm vaccinated fully, and the mask requirements around Japan are also coming down. So, like, you can walk around the street without a mask, and if you go into a public place, you can put on a mask if it's kind of close quarters, in the train, on the bus and stuff like that. But, like, walking around, it's cool, you know what I mean? And so, bring your ass to the bar. I miss some of y'all. Some of y'all can stay your asses in the States and don't bring your ass to Japan. If I see you in Japan, I'll fuck you up in Japan. That's just how it is. Yeah. I don't want to go to jail in Japan either, but yeah, whatever. Okay, we're over this. We're over this part. Okay, so So about vices, as I take a sip of the. Don't get it. Oh my goodness, that's delicious. And no ice. No ice. You don't you shake it and you got the ice crystals and the cup is cold or the glass is cold because that's how I do it this bar. It stays. So if it warms a little bit, it changes the flavor a little bit. It's not gonna get room temperature, but it just slowly, this is nice with the lime and the cola and the mango and the spice from the rum, and I'm feeling it too much. Anyway, so the whole dopamine thing, doing things that you enjoy, and if you do it too much, it robs you of that joy. So you're trying to take in more of it. And yeah, I had a bad habit of doing that with a lot of things, and some of my I would message people back home, back in the States, and be like, hey, yo, check this out. Or like, yo, I was reading an article about this, and did you know? And they're like, yeah, that's funny. Or yeah, that's wow, that's it. But, you've been sending me this stuff for like a week now. It's like, I get it. I can follow this Instagram page and Drunken Idiots or what is it? What was it? The one Idiots with Cars. Oh my goodness. If you go on Instagram or Reddit, they have a Reddit page. It's like Idiots with Cars. Some of the bad choices. And I'm mad jealous because I can't drive in Japan. Not because I don't have a license, because I do. I just don't have a car. And the car that my wife drives is a Subaru one of them hybrid ultra. It's not a minivan. It's not an SUV. It's not a station wagon. It's a little both. And that ain't exactly fulfilling the inner anime child, Takumi drifting down the pass. Yeah, just kind of overdoing it. And I was watching this documentary about neuroscience. And one of the guys they have on there, he's well known, but I don't know him well enough to remember his name. He was talking about how not letting the mind rest, not getting the right amount of sleep, and then constantly being on your phone is screwing with your long-term memory, your cognitive function, and just your overall ability to deal with stress. And I was like, I can see how that would happen. And he was making TikTok a very big point. It's like you're constantly switching between material. Everyone's got a different video or different, target market that they're trying to promote with their videos. And, the more you keep scrolling, it's constantly changing. So you don't have to get up and go anywhere. You don't have to change your scenery. You don't have to get sunlight. You don't have to go into nature. You can just sit in your living room, go around the world, and still feel like trash, you know what I mean? So there's something about getting your ass up and walking places and stuff like that. One thing that like me and my wife are doing, oh my goodness, just saying it like that, it's still weird. It's almost a year, dude. It's almost a year. It doesn't feel like a year. It doesn't feel like a year. Oh my goodness. It's so crazy to have somebody to walk in a park with. Like, we took a walk and watched pigeons. Literally sat on a bench and watched pigeons. And she's explaining to me pigeon activity. I've never studied pigeons, but I look at pigeons and associate their action with human action. So I'm like, nah, they're fighting. She's like, no, they're not fighting. They're courting. I'm like, that looks like a fight to me. And she's trying to explain to me why it's not a fight. I'm trying to tell her I'm from Brewtown and that's a fight. And so it's cute because I'm stubborn and she knows I'm stubborn and she still has the heart to try to explain stuff to me. And that's why I love her so much. Oh my goodness, it's gross. Being in love is gross. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so the whole part of trying to not get fulfilled off the hashtags, find a hashtag and just stuff your brain with all of the stuff that hashtag has to bring you, and it'll make you laugh, but now it's not making me laugh as long or as hard. So I got to keep looking at more stuff. There's got to be more. There's got to be funnier stuff, and it doesn't happen. So sometimes you got to sit in that sucky part of the day where nothing's making you laugh and nothing feels funny or nothing's bringing you that joy. You know what I mean? And, it's not like I'm not drinking not nearly as much as I used to. And that's a good thing. And, I'm finally getting this gut down, fam. I'm actually getting this gut down. Like, the heaviest I've been in Japan was like 102 kilos. So that's like 230, 220. I'd still metric system and stuff. But yeah, it was 102 kilos was my heaviest, right? So that's like, I want to say that's 210. I'm being dramatic with 230. It's like 210, 210 pounds, right? I stepped on the scale, what is it, like a week ago. Kilos. I haven't been 94 kilos since I got here. And it's weird because 94 kilos when I got here doesn't look like the 94 kilos I got now. So it's not muscle. It's still the tummy. I'm going to get it down, fam. September. Watch me. I'm gonna do the whole cut. I'm gonna look skinny chisel. I ain't gonna look boy band, disgustingly sick looking K-pop, J-pop idol, need a sandwich type. Those, fam, that scares me. And I like, this is probably old misogynist masculinity talking, but the dudes in Japan that follow that K-pop, J-pop idol status, they look scary to me. Like, dude, are you okay? Are you eating? I know the makeup and the foundation and the blush, it's all on you, so you look beautiful. But, fam, are you eating properly? Because these dudes be out there choreographing cardio 2.5 hour shows and then be doing talkbacks for 3 hours afterwards and sweating. And I know the makeup is getting in the pores, and it's like, man, bro, I worry. I worry. I do. Y'all look very scarily like pale. And I get it, the whole white skin, purity, gorgeous, but some of these cats be looking like ghosty. Like, that's not foundation, because they're not doing foundation down to the chest, and your bird cage is showing, and it's like, bro, don't do it. Eat something. But anyway, aside from all that, trying to find a way to, disconnect. Disconnect social media, more or less. Because I got stuff here at the bar. And the whole purpose of, being here at the bar and, social media presence is good for a business, but, it's also, I gotta do it in smaller doses, you know what I mean? All right. Tattoo bar. The bar is to help promote the tattoo artist and tattoos in general, more accepting culture. So, in doing that, I also got to remember promote drinks, promote different lifestyle changes that revolve around being social and being out in the bar. We got a cigar night. It's like, I'm not selling cigars, but there's no cigar lounges anywhere near here. So it's like, look, you got a cigar, bring your cigar in, smoke it here. And if you want to come and, chill out, I can kick you one of my cigars. You're going to have to donate to the decor somehow. I kick you a cigar, you better be bringing in like a Hibiki bottle or something. You know what I mean? But that in itself, the idea of running a business, and constantly have to push, and constantly have to grind, and constantly have to be on social media, promoting, updating, content. It's like, man, that's why there's teams. But there's no team here. It's just me. The tattoo artists, they doing their thing. They're posting the tattoos and the drawings that they create. But as far as the bar is concerned, that's me. The backflips and the setbacks we've had with COVID, with restrictions. Nara City is a weird spot politically. Like, for real, Nara City is a weird spot. Like, the mayor here he on some whole nother other-ish, you know what I mean? Like, everybody else was restricting bars and restaurants to help curb the spread of COVID. He was like, we're not doing that in Nara. And it was like, okay, that's not a good idea. But he was looking at it from a profit point of view. They were building all of these hotels in anticipation for the Olympics. Then the Olympics shut down, and we still got all these new hotels going up. Somebody's got to pay for it. You know what I mean? Local people in our city have been complaining long before that about like all the things that are being built here in the city aren't for the locals, they're for tourists. And so it's like, so how's this helping us? And that's why I really wanted, Amahito to shine, because when you talk about not having a place for locals, and that's a big that's the population, that's the city, and then you narrow down that scope, people who are local and have tattoos, you know what I mean? So my whole deal was, to try to give them that light. The mayor was like, we're not going to shut down anything. So all it did was prompt people from the high outbreak cities like Osaka, like Kyoto. For a second there were people coming down from Mie. Mie is about like a 3-hour drive to get here. And cats coming here to drink and party and stuff like that. It's like, dude, you do realize the whole spread. It was sick. And sure enough, cases spiked up. And then it was like people bitching and complaining because they can't get to the hospital. They can't get a bed at the hospital. And they're like, I don't want to go to a hotel. I want to go to stay in a hospital where it's safe. It's like, are you motherfuckers paying attention to the news? It's been maximum capacity at the hospital. Been that way for a while. This didn't just happen. And it's like, that's the thing that be pissing me off. Like, here's one thing. I'm going to share this story because it still bothers me talking about it. It's still in the back of my head, So I started playing Magic, the Gathering again, right? And this time it's with English cats, like cats who speak English. And they're from all over the world. I mean, Philippines, Italy, France. We had a dude come through from Detroit, all over the place. So it's Commander. And Commander, it's an interesting format because instead of having 60, okay, this is nerd talk. So if you want to skip this part, I'm going to put a click here and a click here, and then, yeah, you can skip this part because this is going to be MTG. Oh, wow. Anyway, so basically, it's 100 cards, no duplicates, which makes it interesting. But all in all, basically what you're doing is you're taking cards over the course of, what, freaking 12 years, 14 years, however long Magic's been around. You're putting cards together from all these different blocks of cards that were never meant to be played together. And it can create a very enjoyable experience. It can create some asshole experience. Case in point. Had this Frenchman come through. And, I'll say he was French only because it helps describe the dude. French, long hair. And, when I walked into the joint, now we're playing in a store. Everybody in the store has masks. It's a public facility. Mask, So I walk in, he's not wearing his. I'm like, well, he's sitting at the table by himself. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody around. We good. So a couple more cats show up. So we got our 4. I was like, okay, let's get started. And so one cat just makes mention. He's like, hey, what are we going to call this cat? Jacques. Jacques. Yeah, let's be totally stereotypical right quick. Hey, Jacques, you want to put on your mask? No. In fact, he didn't even say it like that. He was like, hey, Jacques, could you grab your mask? Could you grab your mask? And Jacques goes off on a fucking tangent. When are we gonna get over this mind fuck of this fuckery? This not even do I scare you? Do I scare you? Scared to play with me? Are you not gonna play with me because I don't have a mask? It's like, look, he just asked if you were going to put on your mask. Like, could you put on your mask? If you say no, I hope that's not gonna be a problem. It's squash. But he wants to go into the, the news stations are all owned by the same people, and like, the media doesn't tell you that this is just a. So I'm like, look, and he's like, he said some sly shit, and he's really giving the business to this dude. So I try to jump in to squash it. Like, he said something like, you can't let the media trick you like this. It's like, you have to think for yourself. And I was like, yeah, there's a graveyard. There's a grave. Well, I said, like there's a graveyard filled with people who thought for themselves. And this punk motherfucker goes, ooh la la, I guess. I'm like, wait. Ooh la la. Motherfuckers actually say that shit? And, I let it slide. And so then he kept mumbling under his breath about conspiracy theory and think for yourself, and the COVID's not as bad, and I can't believe you guys are. It's like, look, just either put the mask on or don't put it on, but shut the fuck up. And I was like, look, when y'all done with this political shit, I'll be over here sleeving. I double sleeve my shit. So I'm over here sleeving. Apparently they squash it. I didn't know. I'm at a different table squad. So then he talks loud enough so that I can hear him. Like, can you believe this guy? He's like, he won't play with it. He won't play with me because I won't wear a mask. It's kind of selfish, don't you think? I'm like, selfish? Bitch, you the only one in this store not wearing a mask. And you calling me selfish? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just play it out. So we play the game out, right? This motherfucker got cards. Now, like I said, this fucking game has been going on for like decades. Scotty-sama? Hi. So like, what I was saying, like, this game has been going on for like 14, 15 years, right? So there's cards that are worth a lot, not only because of how old they are, but also these cards didn't get reprinted or remade. So like, there's certain abilities that should not be played, and because it ruins the game. So if you had that card, this motherfucker was playing $100, $200, $300 cards. And at one point, I took my phone out and I'm looking at all the cards he has on the table, and I'm going through it. I'm like, this motherfucker has a board state just from the cards on the board. Now remember, it's 100 cards in these fucking decks. Just from the cards he has on play, it's like $500 worth of cards. And I'm like, really? Is it that serious? It's like, you gotta bring out all the expensive cards that he did. And he won the game really easily. And it's like, it wasn't even like he was playing with us. He was playing with by himself. It's like, okay, I put this card down. It allows me to look at my cards and pick the card I need and put it in my hand. Okay, it comes back around. I do this. I play this. It allows me to play another card, and it allows me to go through my cards, pick out the card I need, and then, okay, I win. I'm glad you went through that whole mask bullshit to end the game in under 3 minutes. What the fuck you on? Anyway, so playing Magic was supposed to be one of my vices, or one of my feel-good moments. Needless to say, I haven't been back. But I still do, collect the cards, and maybe I'll find a commander group where I don't want to fuck one of the dudes up. Let's hope that's in the future. But, that's also part of the commander culture, like the commander format culture. There's always one guy, it's like a lot of people put their heart and soul into the deck they create. Whether it's because of the lore, because of, the amount of money they invested, or they created this by themselves with no help from online or whatever. So they feel kind of a sense of accomplishment putting together these cards that were never meant to play together. And it's a good feeling, I guess. But cats be getting in their feelings like, I want to play this, and then somebody will play a card that says, okay, you can't play that card. And now it's like a grudge match. You made me, you ruined the I'm gonna come after you, only you, because it's like, whatever. So for me, it's more of like I started playing Magic because of my siblings. You know what I mean? It was like the big brother trying to find ways to associate with his younger siblings, given the generation gap that was there. And it's just so cool just to have that connection. And while one of my siblings still plays, the other one said, "No, I don't play anymore." It's still nice to kind of have that nostalgia. It's like, dude, I'm actually, maybe one day one of those cats will come to Japan, or one of those cats will come to Nara specifically, and get some games in or something. But I don't know. There's that. The whole working out to fix stress, that was a big thing for a while. But then that was also affecting my sleep and how I take care of myself. Working out is great, but you have to give yourself time to recover and to sleep, and you have to eat right, or else working out is just going to make you feel miserable the next day. So there's that too. Yeah. It's just this balancing act. And being married, I still have this caution. You know what I mean? It's like I like to say I told her everything. I told her everything. She knew what she was signing up for. But in the same sense, it's like you don't want to dump any baggage on somebody you love. It's like, yeah, they're there to help you to an extent. You know what I mean? But, she got her own thing too. She got her own vices, her own stress, and so I don't want her to have to deal with her stress and then come home and deal with my stress. You know what I mean? And so it's still a matter of learning Japanese and trying to get over the studying hump. And it's like, that's another aspect that's driving me fucking nuts. It's like trying to learn language still. And it's like, I can communicate very basically, no in-depth conversations. And when people talk to me and give me directions or tell me stuff, I can piece the puzzle together and understand what's being said and what they're communicating. It's just the communicating back part that's driving me bonkers, man. And they just came out with a new Dragon Ball Z movie, right? Now, yeah, I'm not the biggest anime head anymore. I'm not one of these guys who came to Japan simply because they love anime, realize that the work culture is kind of sucks, and that Japanese office culture takes a lot to get used to. But this particular story, it's freaking Gohan and Piccolo, fam. Gohan and Piccolo. There's no Vegeta, no Goku. It's Gohan and Piccolo. And if you know anything about the Dragon Ball Z storyline, that was like a ridiculous setup as far as how they came to form a bond. And now this is grown man Gohan. This ain't little, brat Gohan who would throw a hissy fit and all of a sudden he'd be over 9,000. No. It's like, this is grown ass man. I got a mortgage to pay Gohan. And the storyline is kind of interesting with the whole Red Ribbon Army who invented Cell and all that stuff. Apparently there's more androids that no one knew about. So it's like, oh great, it's a story I kind of familiar with, and it's all in Japanese. It's like, all right, let me go ahead and throw away $24 and go see this one time, and then have to pay another $24 to see it a second time because the Japanese is probably going to be too fast for me to catch. But fight scenes are dope. And I don't have to wait 15 episodes of filler to get to the people throwing hands. That's what draws you. So yeah, man, I was talking to my wife about that, and I was like, dude, is it really a problem that I don't speak fluent And being the sweetheart that she is, she goes, if it was a problem, I wouldn't have married you. I was like, that's true. I guess, yeah, I guess that's true. Oh my goodness. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Everything about being married, I'm in disbelief still. But it works. And I'm cautious, waiting for that other shoe to drop. But it's not how it sounds. It's not super negative like that. Like, oh, I know I'm just waiting for her to turn on me. It's not that. It's just that, for so long, being honest, I was told, that was my fault. You're too honest, which is a dumb statement, but I can see how that could be true. And so now that I was finally honest with somebody, and she was like, I don't understand you, but I accept you. That, like, if you would read that wouldn't sound like a good thing. To me, the way she said it to me and looked me in the eyes too, didn't try to front on me, and I accept you, I guess. She was like right here with it, looking up at me, fam. I don't understand you, but I accept you. Finally, acceptance. The fuck? That's the word. Don't tell me you love me. Tell me you accept me. You'll have me forever. And so she does. It's Kimmy. Yeah. I know. I think that's enough gross, disgusting giddiness for a while. Yeah. So now you're up to date, and I got to rant a little bit, and I didn't repeat anything that I've said before, I don't think. So, as far as what's going on in the world, 2 mass shootings in America, and they still don't want to give up AR-15s because it's the choice rifle for farmers to protect their chicken coop in Colorado. Yeah, all that. Ukraine is still under attack with Russia, and people are still on TikTok trying to talk about how Russia is doing everything they can not to kill civilians. But the media won't tell you that. That shit be tripping me out. There was a dude talking about, this is a mall, and they're storing military vehicles at this mall. And Russia blew it up at night. See? They're being considerate. Like, y'all fucking with me, right? It's like, even the way he said it, it didn't make sense. He's like, this is a mall outside Kiev, I think. You think? Well, okay, if that is a mall, and it's supposedly outside of Kiev, give me an address. Give me a Google satellite something. Give me a map. Where's this mall where they're storing these military vehicles? Because Russia is so nice right now. And let's be very clear. Let's be very extremely clear. It's not all of Russia. It's not every Russian you know. Because there are Russians who went to jail who said they don't support this and that nobody should believe this shit. So let's be very clear on that. Ah, boy. It's the world, fam. And it's not that I'm tuning out, but it's more of like, I know what I control here in Japan. And so I don't get too caught up in getting the latest up-to-date stories about what's going on in Ukraine, or the gun right laws, or the student loans. and all that. Just take care of myself, take care of my baby, and 0 body count. And I'm good. I'm good. And with that, I hope you're doing good too. I hope that I hope that everything take 2. And I hope you're doing well too. I hope everything is sunshine, lollipops, and rainbow everything. And if not, I hope you can at least get a decent cup of coffee. I pray. Is that Heavenly Father? We're not gonna tempt the wrath of God right now. I've been walking a tightrope as it is. I'm not gonna play. We're not gonna play. We're not gonna play with the universe and God stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna focus on me. And so I should probably end this, then go do some studying before I go to sleep. Yeah, I'll do that. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're doing well. And I hope that you're not forcing yourself to think positive. Stay in some of that negativity. You ain't got to brew, but balance. You have good days, you have bad days. Some days you're smiling, some days you're crying, but it doesn't last. So cherish the moment, rock with it. Hey, hey, hey. All that. So that, I'm on a lot of rum and go get it. I'm gonna run and go get some sleep. I gotta study. Yeah. So with that, good night and good luck.